Hello, and thank you for joining us for this virtual grand opening of the Chatham Education and Workforce Center. My name is Karen Norrington Reeves. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, and today I'm joined by a number of community leaders from the greater Chatham area, and we're going to talk a little bit about the center, its purpose, and its meaning to these communities. First, my guest is Nidra Fears, Executive Director of the Greater Chatham Initiative. Next, I have Rhonda Hops, Executive Director of the Comer Education Campus. Then Anthony Sinkins, Executive Director of Neighborhood Housing Services. And last but never least, Carlos Nelson, Executive Director of the Greater Auburn Gresham Community Development Organization. Welcome all.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. So I'd like to take an opportunity to have each of you introduce yourselves and quickly just state your name, your title, and the purpose of your organization and the community that you serve. Nidra?
Thank you, Karen. My name is Nidra Sims Fears. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Chatham Initiative. I actually live in Chatham, but the organization, Greater Chatham, serves all four communities: Avalon Park, Auburn Gresham, Chatham, and Greater Grand Crossing. And our purpose of our organization, we're a nonprofit, and we want to continue to make the four communities areas of opportunity and choice. And we focus on housing, workforce development, business development, and public safety.
Thank you so much. Rhonda?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rhonda Hops, and I am the Executive Director for the Comer Education Campus. The campus is comprised of the Gary Comer Youth Center, Gary Comer College Prep, and Gary Comer Middle School. Both of those are managed by the Noble Network of Charter Schools. We are located in the Greater Grand Crossing community, and we also serve the South Side. Young people come to us from all over the South Side of Chicago for our programming on campus. And our mission is to take young people ages 6th grade through 12th grade primarily and help them develop and prepare for lives as well-rounded global citizens, ready for college and careers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony?
Hi, I'm happy to be here. My name is Anthony Sinkins, and I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. We are a nonprofit home ownership organization. We're the largest lender for home purchasers in low and moderate income communities of color in the region. We also are a HUD certified housing counseling agency that provides both pre-purchase and post-purchase counseling, as well as foreclosure counseling and assistance for homeowners. We also provide development. We do home ownership development and lots of other services for the communities. We're happy to be here to partner with the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, and thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And then Carlos.
Well, good morning, all. My name is Carlos Nelson. I'm the CEO of Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corporation. But first, I want to just congratulate Karen Norrington Reeves and her perseverance for completing this beautiful building, this beautiful project, this beautiful edifice right here in the heart of Chatham, right on 79th Street. GAGDC, oh, by the way, I'm also a founding board member of Greater Chatham Initiative. So GAGDC really focuses our efforts on comprehensive community development, improving the quality of life of residents in the communities that we serve, utilizing 5 essential pillars. 1, education and youth development, which is where I've had a long-standing relationship with Rhonda Hobbs for many years in the effort to improving educational opportunities for our children. Community and economic development, which is where working with GCI and Chicago Cook Workforce, we look to improve the economic opportunities in our communities. Housing and senior services, and as Anthony mentioned, neighborhood housing service has been a go-to partner of ours for many years, and Anthony Sinkins has been a great asset for improving the housing options in our communities. The fourth one is health and wellness, and right now we're building a healthy lifestyle hub just 2 miles west on 79th Street. And then the fifth uh, pillar and really is the foundation of all our work, and it's community engagement. Once again, I'm so happy to be here celebrating this just momentous occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd love to kick off our discussions by having each of you just talk a little bit about how you think that the communities you serve will benefit and be able to utilize the center. So anybody, jump right on in. Rhonda.
Well, I love the building. So I don't, for anybody who's watching this, who's not been on the Comer campus, I just want to let you know it's a beautiful facility with magnificent buildings and just great beacons of energy and positivity on the south side. And this new building is in the same realm. You walk in there and you're welcome. It's state of the art. And so I'm focusing on that because I believe firmly that youth need to see excellence so that they know what to demand in their lives. And this building is another example of excellence, how they should be treated, how their environment should look, and so that they know what they should expect. And then I am excited to be able to utilize these spaces for our young people, a spillover after school, potentially working with the staff themselves, but just having it be there as another example of what we should have and what we are entitled to, I think is just a great asset for young people in the community.
Rhonda, thank you for that. That's so beautifully put, that we need to see excellence, that our kids are entitled to being surrounded by beautiful things and opportunity. Thanks for that. Nidra or Anthony, Carlos, anybody else want to jump in?
Sure. I would say that what I'm so excited about the center, not only is the physical plant beautiful and everything works so that you have a conference center that is state of the art with all the bells and whistles that you need for video conferencing, but also the 3D printer and the vocational classrooms that have real tools and equipment. And a 3D printer is really phenomenal because we have many entrepreneurs in the community that are makers, and to be able to have a facility where they can actually practice their craft, where they can get together, collaborate, have new processes both in real time and virtual is really a phenomenon. So I'm really looking forward to having both the entrepreneurs and the people who are interested in being trained to participate and use that smart facility with excellent staff resources there to make it come alive.
Yeah. Thanks, Nidra. Yeah, we're really excited about the Maker Lab and the courses that are going to be offered there, and just the opportunity that we know that will flow from that will be created as a result of having access to those hands-on tools and instruction. Anthony, Carlos, before we dive into some deeper questions, anything on that topic?
Well, let me chime in here because, of course, I don't want to follow Carlos. So, I'm a resident of Avalon Park. I raised a family here, and in raising a family in these neighborhoods and working in community development for many, many years, one of the things that I have realized is the importance of comprehensive community development. And NHS is really proud to support and partner with Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership on this really critical workforce and education center. The work that we do, of course, involves home ownership, um, but comprehensive community development really involves all the aspects of community, right? We're talking about housing, education, workforce development, business development, supporting our local institutions. The communities of Avalon Park, Vernon Park, Chatham, Greater Grand Crossing, these have historically been thriving African American communities with thriving African American owned businesses and strong middle and working classes and strong community institutions. And they can be that again. And this Workforce Development and Education Center is critical to that revitalization. It sits on 79th Street, which is a thriving and commercial corridor for the community and provides a phenomenal facelift for the 79th Street corridor. It is going to provide state of the art job training, job placement, and education. And, that combined with it's going to provide opportunities for small businesses that they partner with in a very proactive way. And, so we're proud to really work with them and to promote community institutions and increased home ownership in the neighborhood, and the work that the center will do to raise incomes and open opportunities for residents. And these communities, we want to work with you to make sure that these communities are communities of choice, where
Yeah.
people live because they want to, not
Mhm.
because they have to. And that's what's involved in this sort of comprehensive community development. So,
Yeah.
and this is
Thank
really
you.
going to be a pillar for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Carlos, earlier in today's event, we've talked a bit about the 2014 meeting that Congressman Rush had to really try and catalyze some responses to the violence and catalyze some proactive work to make sure that we are creating the communities that we want to live and thrive in. And so you were at that meeting. Tell me a little bit about what it meant to be in that room, what it was like to be in that room, and then what you've seen evolve since then.
Let me take a deep breath before I answer. That was, coming together around such a tragedy was tough. I mean, the pain and the despair that overwhelmed so many of us felt unbearable. And Karen, I often reflect on the fact that I work right here in an office on the ground floor, right at 79th and Racine, and I've done this for 20 years. Um, and Dr. Betty Howard, gave the ultimate sacrifice, and so it's filling that we're paying homage and a tribute to this angel during this week of Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday. Um, the tragedy and despair from that day really launched Congressman Rush and Alderman Rod Sawyer and community leaders and residents into action and to proclaim that enough is enough. And the call of action was to work hard collectively to take back our community. The communities of Auburn Gresham and Avalon Park and Greater Grand Crossing and Chatham and all of these communities that have had generations of strong African American working class families with dreams and with hopes. Organizations, elected officials, businesses, and others from the four communities really coalesced to work together so that our communities would once again become communities of opportunity and communities of hope and become communities of choice where economic growth isn't a foreign concept, but a dream realized, just like this Chatham Education and Workforce Center. This is not the end of the movement. I'm really excited to say there is a movement in our communities happening. And this movement of economic growth and opportunity is just beginning. And I am so proud to be a part of this growth happening in our communities, especially right here on 79th Street, the 9, the busiest bus line in the entire city of Chicago, this backbone through our communities.
Thank you. And you're right. I mean, it's fitting that we're giving homage to somebody who is so focused on trying to make sure that our children had a better future and access greater opportunities. So you're absolutely right, Carlos. Thank you for that. Nidra, I want to pivot to you real quick and talk about how the center connects with the broader vision for the Greater Chatham Initiative, because the Greater Chatham Initiative, like the center, was actually born out of that convening that Congressman Rush held. So can you talk a little bit about sort of the intersectionality of your work and what's going to happen with the center?
Yes, so as I indicated earlier, the Greater Chatham Initiative, one of our focuses is on workforce development. And so a great fact is that there's over 7,400 businesses that employ 55,000 people in Greater Chatham. So we're already an economic engine as far as wages are concerned. But with that, we have improvement. Obviously, we're in a recession. People have lost jobs. We've also have unemployment. We have people who are unemployed, underemployed, and we really have two populations. We have homeowners that probably are at max 30% of the population have an average income about 55,000, and then we have our renters that make about $25,000. And so we want to provide that upward mobility for folks where no matter where they are, whether they're in the informal economy or working, and the Workforce Center is that engine where they can go and get their skills assessed and look at what they want to be for this 21st century. And it is really fitting that it's starting in 2021 when we all had to make that digital switch to the 21st century knowledge economy by being able to get online and to do things virtually. And so I'm just really excited that it is a resource that businesses who want to pivot to the 21st century and have everything on web, that they can get those trainings. And then for residents that want to get a broad array of training, so that and they can do it in their community. So I think that is what is so wonderful. And it's a one-stop shop. So you don't have to go 3 to 4 different places. You can go to the center and everything is there.
Yeah, yeah. Rhonda, talk a little bit about, as you strive to prepare young people for, for their futures, for their educational futures, for their professional futures. Talk a little bit about how you envision the center serving as sort of a support, a through line, if you will, that connects to the work that you're doing.
Certainly. I'm so excited about the center. It's a little bit frightening. I'm worried about the rest of you if I'm going to leave any space for you afterwards. We're starting with 6th graders, and a lot of people don't really think about workforce development in 6th grade. But from our standpoint, we know that young people need to try things out. They need to experiment. They need to dabble before they can figure out what it is that they love to do and what resonates with them. I like to say their area of genius, right? And they've just got to try things out. And so we have a beautiful facility, beautiful campus to work with our own farm and roof gardens and gyms and robotics labs. But I know it's hard to imagine with a facility of that size, but we often run out of room. And so having the center be literally down the street, a mile away, means that we now have an extension place where we can bring our young people physically to, but we could also access the instructors who are located in that facility to take advantage of what we've now become used to with electronic learning and engagement, to come and teach our young people who are at the center after school or during the school day. So it is so exciting to think about that kind of collaboration, the collaboration with Daly College, the collaboration with city colleges in general, and just anybody who's there working to also demonstrate, hey, here's what I do, and that might spark something in a young person's mind. Again, you don't know about a career until somebody tells you about it or you experience it in a different way. So exposure will be huge. Access to state-of-the-art facilities will be huge. We have our own mini maker lab, but it's nothing like the size of what I saw at the new center. And so our young people being able to access that will be a phenomenal thing for us as well. So there are so many opportunities for collaboration, for exploration. I am just really, really excited about what the future holds.
You touched on something that we talk about all the time for our young people, is that you can't be what you can't. And so to expose young people to career opportunities, to allow them the chance to explore, whether it be with their hands or their minds, is really the key. It is just, it's the pivotal point that helps to open up such a whole new world that sets them on a particular career path.
Can you imagine? Other thing, can you imagine Nidra's entrepreneurs being there and then having a video conference with our young people saying, hey, this is how I'm using this center. Here's what I'm creating. Here's what you could be doing too. It's just going to send off light bulbs in ways that sitting here today, we can't imagine. We just know it's going to be great. And so it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's all about that spark. It is all about that spark, right?
Absolutely.
That thing that sort of catalyzes you, propels you forward, propels you on to think about something that you've never considered before. And so, yeah, we're really thrilled to be able to offer these resources and these services and to have the partnerships that we have in order to pull it all off. Anthony, you talked about being an Avalon Park resident, and you talked a bit about neighborhood housing services. One of the things I always say is that workforce development is the cornerstone of economic development. If people don't have jobs, they can't thrive, they can't contribute to the local economy. Talk about that connection there with neighborhood housing services.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you made that point. We at Neighborhood Housing Services, we really focus on home ownership as a way of building generational wealth and as a way of sort of closing that racial wealth gap. Um, we focus on getting people ready for home ownership through pre-purchase counseling and financial literacy. But again, the reference I made earlier was to comprehensive community development. So in order for us to build that strong homeownership base that is so important to thriving and stable communities, we need to be able to raise the incomes of the residents in these historically dynamic communities. And so the Workforce Development Center is so crucial to the work that we do at Neighborhood Housing Services to get people the education, the training, the placement that they need, the opportunity to get into the workforce and raise their incomes so that they can be ready for home ownership, for starting businesses, and for really contributing to the overall economic and social vitality of these communities. So we're really excited about this center, and it feeds right into the work that we do to engage communities, support community institutions, and to build thriving working and middle class residents in
Thank
these
you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much. All right, you all, we have about 40 seconds left. One word that expresses your thoughts and feelings about this center. One word, go, Nidra.
State of the art.
Rhonda.
Empowerment.
Anthony.
Opportunity.
Carlos.
Resilient.
And my last word is hope. So excited to be able to restore hope and to create opportunity for everyone. And looking forward to partnering with each and every one of you fabulous people. So thank you all for joining us. And again, welcome to the Chatham Education and Workforce Center. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.